salvation.
You better be a good boy.
Total trust and reliance.
Total trust.
In God.
In God.
And His grace. Pen, write this down.
Okay.
Salvation is all about
God's penis.
no one else's.
No one else has got it.
Did you get that?
Yes, you better be a good child, or else you won't get God's penis.
This revelation of truth is foundational for maintaining a close relationship with God.
Wait, what?
Why?
Okay.
Because we live our lives in cycles.
Cycles.
The book of Judges shows us that.
What is he saying?
I don't know.
That as human beings, we can only be good for so long.
We can only be good for so long.
Good. We start getting the little.
We start getting the little things to be a good boy.
We start flirting with sin.
Flirting with sin.
Flirting with sin.
Mentally meditating.
Mentally meditating.
To participating.
Participating.
He's having trouble saying those big words. Is he from Alabama?
Claws in us, which turns into condemnation and ugliness. And
It turns into
ugliness. I'm not saved, and I can't be. Because look how foul I am.
Look how foul I am.
Is this the same guy?
Listen, I'm foul.
No, this is a different guy.
He's foul.
That's the
No,
whole
it is the same
purpose
guy.
of Satan.
He's been foul because he's been a naughty boy.
But Jesus said, I'm come that you might have life.
I'm coming so
And
you
have
can have
more
life.
abundantly.
I'm coming abundantly.
The word gospel
Coming abundantly all
in
over
the
the
Greek is
gospel.
euangelion, and it means
Open
a
up the
good
book.
message. In fact,
And
one
it's a
person
good
went so far
message
as
to
to
the good
say,
boys.
nearly too good to be true.
He's
Good
coming in your
message.
face and it's too good to be
Are
true.
you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
The apostle begins his letter with greetings. He commended the believers in Rome for how their faith was being spoken of throughout the world. Then after expressing his desire to visit
Someone's
them,
a smoker.
he summarizes the entire book. And he says, I'm not ashamed of the good news. Too good to be true. Why is it too good to be true? Because I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I'm
guilty.
a sinner.
I'm the sinner.
I sinned against God.
I'm a bad boy.
And I must pay for my sin.
I've sinned against God. I must pay for my sins. He must.
Jesus
He must
steps
take what he wants from me, and
says,
just
I'll pay for your sin.
pay for my sins. He'll just take it from his Father. He's coming from the gospel.
I won't have to do penance.
His penance.
Turn in your Bibles to John chapter 8 very quickly.
Okay.
By
Gotta
the way,
look at
this
John.
wasn't in the first Bible study. I always tell people, if you want to hear a new version of the Bible study, come to the next service, because I can't ever remember what I said the first service. In John chapter 8, it says Jesus went
Bible's
up to the
just so
Mount of Olives,
forgettable.
and early in the morning, he came again unto the temple.
Came again under the temple for Jesus,
And they sat down, and Jesus began to have a Bible study.
and Jesus began to come for
And the
him.
Pharisees, catch the wording of this, brought unto him
He
a
brought
woman
unto him.
taken in adultery.
He'd taken adultery for
When they
Jesus.
had set her in the midst, they said to the master,
Master,
he was taken in adultery.
he was taken in adultery, Master. Master.
They know when she was going to do it.
Oh, he knew what he was gonna
He
do.
must have had somebody peeking.
Oh,
in
he
the
was
window.
peeking in on him.
This is a setup.
This is a setup.
Now, Moses in the law commanded
Moses
that such should
commanded
be done,
that such
but what
adultery-
sayest thou? Well, we left
Whoa,
out a
whoa,
part.
whoa.
Moses said the man and the woman.
The man and the woman had to be
Where's the man?
adulterous.
He must have been part of the setup, right?
Man and the woman must be part of a setup.
So Moses said that they should be killed. What do you say?
He should be killed.
And this they said, verse 6, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him. But Jesus stooped down, and with his finger he wrote on the ground as though he wasn't paying attention. So when they continued asking, well, what should you do? What
What
do
should
you
you
think
do?
say?
Fashion?
Come on, aren't you going to say anything?
Aren't you gonna say
And
anything?
the crowd was starting to get stirred, and they kept on and
Oh,
on.
they were getting stirred all right over the
He
adultery.
lifted up himself, and he said,
He lifted himself up.
he that's without sin among you,
Why would he do that?
you be the first one to throw the stone. And then
Like
he
getting
went
stoned?
back down and started writing in the ground.
Wait, what?
He wants to throw
They
stones
heard it
at
being
his raised up
convicted by
body
their own
part.
conscience, thank God. Went out one by one, beginning at the oldest, even to the last. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. Look at verse 10 and 11. especially if you've committed adultery.
If you committed adultery,
When Jesus had lifted himself,
Jesus lifted himself for you
saw
because
no
he's
one but
because
the
you're
woman, he said
adulterous.
unto her, Woman,
And he said, "Woman,
where are those thine accusers?
where are your accusers?
Hath
Because
no man
I'm
condemned
gonna have
thee?"
sex with all of them.
She said,
We're
No
gonna
man,
have
Lord.
adultery."
And Jesus said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. Salvation
Salvation.
is all about God's faithfulness, no one else's.
Oh my God.
The gospel is
God's
good
faithfulness.
news. The first 5 chapters of